Rain lashed against the windows of the old bookstore, creating a rhythmic yet chaotic symphony that echoed through the quiet aisles. The storm outside was relentless, each drop a tiny hammer against the glass, but inside the world was calm and serene. Ava huddled deeper into her worn copy of Wuthering Heights, the words on the page offering her a sanctuary from the tempest outside. The dim light of the bookstore cast a warm glow on her face, highlighting her intense concentration. The scent of old paper and leather was a comfort, a familiar embrace that wrapped around her like a cozy blanket. Each book held a story, a piece of history, and Ava found solace in their silent companionship. She loved escaping into stories, finding solace in fictional worlds where anything was possible. The characters became her friends, their adventures her own, and for a while she could forget the storm raging outside. A gust of wind rattled the window pane, a reminder of the chaos outside, but Ava barely noticed, so engrossed was she in the world of Heathcliff and Catherine. Ava glanced up as the bell above the shop door chimed, signalling the arrival of another soul seeking refuge from the storm. The sound was a gentle interruption, pulling her momentarily from her literary escape. A young man, Liam, entered, shaking raindrops from his coat. His presence brought a new energy into the room, a contrast to the stillness that had settled over the bookstore. He looked up, their eyes meeting for a fleeting moment. In that brief exchange there was a spark, a silent understanding that they were both seeking the same solace. Ava quickly returned to her book, her cheeks flushed with a warmth that had nothing to do with the temperature inside. She felt a strange flutter in her chest, a mix of curiosity and shyness. Liam wandered the aisles, his fingers trailing along the spines of countless tales. Each book he touched seemed to whisper its secrets, inviting him to explore its depths. He paused, drawn to a worn copy of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The book felt right in his hands, as if it had been waiting for him. Ava watched him from the corner of her eye, her curiosity piqued. Liam caught her gaze, and for a moment, the world outside ceased to exist. He smiled, a warmth in his eyes that mirrored the feeling blooming in Ava's chest. It was a smile that spoke of shared secrets and unspoken words. "Good book?" he asked, gesturing towards her copy of Wuthering Heights. His voice was gentle, filled with genuine interest. Ava, usually shy, surprised herself by responding. Her voice was soft, but there was a confidence in her words that she hadn't felt before. "It's my favorite," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. The admission felt like a small act of bravery, a step towards something new. And so began their dance, a shared language of literature drawing them closer. In the haven of the old bookstore, amidst the storm outside, two souls found a connection that neither had been seeking, but both welcomed. Liam spoke with a quiet intensity, his passion for stories mirroring Ava's own. They talked for what felt like hours, their initial shyness melting away. He loved the classics, drawn to tales of adventure and romance. Ava gravitated towards stories of love and loss, of characters grappling with emotions that mirrored her own. They discovered a shared love for the Bronte sisters, their words weaving a tapestry of understanding between them. "I've always wanted to visit Haworth," Ava confessed, her voice soft, "to walk those moors, just like Heathcliff and Cathy." Liam's eyes lit up. "I've dreamt of that," he admitted, a touch of wonder in his voice. To stand on those windswept hills, feeling the echoes of their love. In that moment, their dreams intertwined. The bookstore, once a refuge from the storm, became a shared haven. They were two souls, adrift in a sea of faces, finding solace in each other's words. Ava, usually so guarded, felt a connection with Liam that she couldn't deny. He understood her in a way that no one ever had. Their shared love of stories spilled out from the bookstore and into their lives. It was in the pages of those books that they first found each other, their fingers brushing as they reached for the same novel. The bookstore became their sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still and the outside world faded away. They would spend hours lost in the aisles, discovering new worlds and sharing their favorite passages. Rainy afternoons were spent curled up in cozy cafes, lost in the worlds they built together. The sound of raindrops tapping against the window pane was the perfect backdrop to their whispered conversations and shared dreams. Each story they read became a part of their own, weaving their lives together in a tapestry of words and emotions. They explored dusty antique shops, searching for first editions of their favorite novels. These shops were treasure troves of forgotten tales and hidden gems, each book a portal to another time and place. The thrill of the hunt brought them closer, their laughter echoing through the narrow aisles as they uncovered yet another literary treasure. One cool evening, Liam took Ava to the planetarium. It was a surprise, a gift to share his love of the stars with her. The anticipation in the air was palpable as they walked hand in hand, the city lights fading behind them as they approached the dome. They lay beneath the artificial night sky, whispering constellations to life. The darkness enveloped them, and the stars above seemed to shine just for them. Each constellation they named felt like a secret shared, a bond that grew stronger with every whispered word. Ava had always loved the stars, their distant light a source of comfort and wonder. As a child, she would spend hours gazing up at the night sky, dreaming of the stories each star might tell. Now, with Liam by her side, those dreams felt more real than ever. As Liam pointed out Orion's belt and the faint glimmer of distant galaxies, she felt a sense of belonging she had never known before. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring them together, their love story written in the stars long before they ever met. "They say every star is a story," Liam whispered, his voice filled with awe. "Each one a testament to the lives that have come before, the loves that have been lost and found again." In that moment, under the vast expanse of the night sky, they felt a connection to something greater than themselves, a life lived, a love lost, a dream fulfilled. The stars held the secrets of the universe, and in their light, Liam and Ava found the courage to dream their own dreams. They held hands, their fingers intertwined, and made a silent promise to cherish every moment they had together. Ava looked at him, her heart overflowing. In his eyes she saw the reflection of the stars, a mirror of the love and wonder she felt. It was a love that transcended time and space, a love that was truly written in the stars. "Then we must be standing beneath the brightest star of all," she breathed, their hands finding each other in the darkness. It was a moment of pure magic, a moment that would be etched in their memories forever. Their love story was written in those stars, a fleeting but brilliant constellation against the backdrop of their lives. Each star a chapter, each constellation a testament to the love they shared. They were two souls, drawn together by fate, and united by a shared passion for stories, for dreams, for the infinite possibilities whispered by the cosmos. And as they stood there, embraced by the night, they knew that their love was truly written in the stars. Life, however, had a way of interrupting even the most beautiful dreams. It often threw unexpected challenges and choices that tested the strength of one's resolve and the depth of one's desires. Liam, with his wanderlust and thirst for adventure, had always planned to travel the world. He dreamed of exploring ancient ruins, tasting exotic foods, and immersing himself in diverse cultures. His heart yearned for the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of new experiences waiting just beyond the horizon. Ava, rooted by family obligations and a fear of the unknown, felt tethered to their small town. She found comfort in the familiar faces and places, the routines that brought a sense of security. The thought of leaving it all behind filled her with a quiet dread, a fear of losing the only world she had ever known. His acceptance letter to a prestigious university across the country arrived on a day that mirrored their first meeting, grey skies and rain-streaked windows. It was a moment of triumph for Liam, a validation of his dreams and hard work. But for Ava it was a harbinger of change, a sign that their lives were about to take very different paths. Ava held the letter, her heart heavy with the premonition of what it meant. She knew that this opportunity was everything Liam had ever wanted, but it also meant that he would be leaving. The thought of their separation filled her with a profound sadness. a sense of loss that she couldn't quite articulate. Liam's excitement was palpable, his eyes shining with the promise of new horizons. He spoke animatedly about the places he would visit, the people he would meet, and the knowledge he would gain. His enthusiasm was infectious, but it also highlighted the growing chasm between their dreams. But beneath his joy, Ava detected a flicker of something else. Was it doubt, or perhaps a recognition of the sacrifices that came with pursuing one's dreams? She wondered if he too felt the weight of their impending separation, the bittersweet nature of their diverging paths. Was it apprehension, or the reflection of her own sadness at the thought of their paths diverging? The questions lingered in her mind, adding to the emotional turmoil she felt. She wanted to be happy for him, to support his dreams, but the thought of being left behind was a heavy burden to bear. The world, once brimming with shared dreams, suddenly felt too vast, the distance between their futures stretching before them like a chasm. The plans they had made together now seemed like distant memories overshadowed by the reality of their separate ambitions. The rain continued to fall, mirroring the tears Ava refused to let fall. She stood by the window, watching the droplets race down the glass, each one a reminder of the emotions she kept bottled up inside. The future felt uncertain, and the weight of unspoken words pressed heavily on her heart. The weight of their unspoken fears hung heavy in the air, a stark contrast to the lightness they had once shared. The room, once filled with laughter and dreams, now felt oppressively silent. They sat together, yet the emotional distance between them was palpable, a silent acknowledgement of the paths that were pulling them apart. Gap 3S. Years passed, and though their paths had diverged, the memories of their time together lingered like echoes in the quiet moments of their lives. Ava's cottage by the sea became her sanctuary, a place where she found solace in the rhythm of the waves and the whispering winds. She poured her heart into her writing, the stories she crafted often reflecting the bittersweet love she had known. Gap 3S. Liam's life in the city was filled with the responsibilities and achievements he had always aspired to. Yet, in the quiet moments, his thoughts would drift back to Ava and the dreams they had once shared. He often found himself looking up at the night sky, searching for the constellations they had talked about, feeling a pang of longing for the life that could have been. Gap 3S. One evening, as Ava sat on her porch watching the sun dip below the horizon, she received an unexpected letter. The handwriting was familiar and her heart skipped a beat as she opened it. Inside was a simple note from Liam, written with the same warmth and sincerity she remembered. Gap 3S. Dear Ava, I hope this letter finds you well. I've thought of you often and wondered how you're doing in your little cottage by the sea. Life in the city is as busy as ever, but there are moments when I find myself wishing for the peace we once talked about. I wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you, proud of the life you've built. You were always meant for the sea, for the freedom it represents. I'll never forget the time we shared, and I hope you'll always remember the promise of the stars. With love, Liam. Gap 3S. Ava's eyes filled with tears as she read the letter, a mix of joy and sorrow washing over her. She knew that their love had been real, that it had shaped who they were and who they had become. And though they had gone their separate ways, the bond they shared remained unbroken, a silent testament to the power of love and dreams. Gap 3S. In the city, Liam stood on a rooftop looking out over the skyline. He held a small, weathered book in his hands, the same one he had bought from Ava's bookstore all those years ago. He opened it to a page marked with a pressed flower, a reminder of their first meeting. As he gazed at the stars, he whispered softly to the night, "Thank you, Ava, for everything." Gap 3S. And so, life continued. Ava and Liam, though apart, carried the memories of their love like a cherished secret, a story that had been written in the stars. And every so often, when the night was clear and the stars shone brightly, they would look up and remember the promise of those stars, the promise of love, of possibility, and of dreams that had once brought them together. Gap 3S. The echoes of yesterday, though faint, would always be a part of them, a reminder that some loves are timeless and some dreams, though unfulfilled, are never truly forgotten.